Hey, so just ignore the sweaty general appearance, and if you can hear the car AC, no you can't. It's just really fucking hot. But today I'm at the thrift store, and I'm specifically here for books, but I'm also probably gonna wander a little bit because who doesn't love a little mosey in a thrift store, you know? So I'm here for specifically, I would love to find the Hunger Games books. And that's my general goal for the day, is to see if I can find those thrifted. I would love to read those for July for Katie Coulson's Sunrise on the Readathon. My goal is to find the Hunger Games books today, or at least a few of them, maybe the first one, second one, and just generally and see what else I can find. I love rummaging around at the books at thrift stores just because sometimes you can find some really amazing things. But anyway, let's get treasure hunting, shall we? See ya. I just left the thrift store, and unfortunately I didn't find any books. There really wasn't a lot of books that I knew. It was mostly just kind of like mass market paperbacks of books that I wasn't really interested in, and a couple that I was familiar with. I saw the Starless Sea, the same edition that I have, and I was like, oh man, someone has no taste. Who would give that book up? But I did find some success in some of the other things I was looking for. One of the things that I've been trying to find recently is magazines that I can cut up and use the lettering for journaling. You know how like in the movies or whatever, like the ransom notes are always like cut and pasted, like letters that look like different fonts and things. I love that look, and I was like, I really want to find some magazines that are super cheap that I can just destroy and get lettering from. So I found a few. I found this one with like recipes and bartending stuff in it, Better Homes and Gardens, and then an old like pop culture magazine. It's from 2020, but it looks like it's focusing on like 60s and 70s pop culture stars. When I was flipping through these, they had some good fonts in there, so I was like, ooh, I might have some good stuff in here. And then another thing I was really excited that I found is Buffy Season 2 on DVD. Buffy the Vampire Slayer is my favorite TV show. I've loved it ever since I was a teen. I've been kind of humoring the idea of trying to find all of the seasons on DVD in thrift stores or pawn shops or anything like that. I hope that all the discs are in there and that they work. But regardless, I've wanted to collect the whole show on DVD just so that if it ever goes off of streaming at some point and I really want to watch it, I can watch it. And I watched them originally when I was a teenager on DVD, so it's definitely nostalgic to have the book of DVDs inside. Like this is the shit that I was looking at when I was a kid. So now I just gotta find the rest of the seasons. This is the first one that I ever purchased from a thrift store, and now I gotta hunt for the rest of them. I might go to another thrift store because I'm kind of bummed that I didn't find any good books in here, so maybe we'll go to another one today. We'll see. Alright, so I just left the second thrift store, and this one had a really, really good selection of books, and what I liked about it is that it was separated from all paperback and all hardcover, and it wasn't organized by genre, which I usually don't love, but it was nice that it was all like one section of paperbacks and one section of hardcovers, and it was honestly a really, really great selection too. A lot of books in there that I have heard of at least, and maybe even books that I have already read. So I was really excited about that. I definitely want to come back to this one to look for books another time, but today I got two. The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. This is a classic. Everyone's read it probably, but I really want to get around to reading this one in the autumn. I think it'd be a really great spooky story to read around Halloween. It was $2, so I got that. And then this one is more just that it was cute, and it's not really a book that you read, it's all pictures. I just thought it was so unique. It's a book of pinup art. It literally is just all pinup girls. Oh, there's someone nearby. Don't notice me. Obviously this is just something that you have just to look at because the art is beautiful, you know? But I have a deck of cards that are pretty old. They're several decades old, and they have pinup girls on them as well, like a regular deck of playing cards, and they just have pinup girls on them. So I might put this with those cards and just have a little pinup girl section. I have a little cubby at home with like Fallout trinkets and Skyrim Elder Scrolls trinkets. I'll take a video later. The cards reminded me of like Fallout New Vegas because it's all like casinos and the cards are like really old with pinup girls on them. So I was like, oh, I'll just put my pinup girls on the Fallout shelf because it fits New Vegas, you know? So maybe this will go there too. Alright, so sorry about the weird lighting and the angle. I'm currently sitting on the floor in my bedroom. My anxiety has been pretty bad, so I'm going over to my parents today just to kind of take my mind off of everything and get out of the house. I've been struggling a lot since my layoff, just being at home alone all day and not really knowing what to do with myself. And like, there's only so much time in a day or in a week that you can spend just sitting upstairs, you know, reading or gaming or watching videos before you kind of lose your mind a little bit. And I've been, you know, having difficulty motivating myself to like go exercise or go for walks because summer is terrible and I have like heat tolerance issues because of my meds that I'm on. And I've been feeling so weak lately because I haven't been like sleeping well or eating well. And it's just been kind of like a rough time. Despite all of that, I've been having a good reading month so far. I've been feeling very motivated to read because of Katie Coulson's Sunrise on the Readathon going on. So I've been excited about, you know, getting in my pages for that. I made some serious progress last night in Legendborn, which I've been kind of struggling through. I've been kind of having a hard time keeping myself motivated to pick it back up. Like, it's just sitting there. I got to around like 35% and then I had put the book down and I just did not want to pick it back up. And I just couldn't get myself to do it. But last night I was like, fuck it, I need to pick this book up and make some progress in it, otherwise I'm never going to finish it. So I did last night get to like 61%. It's definitely getting me more now in the second half. I think the first half was just really dense with all of the world building and the magic system that they had to explain, and then the Order of the Round Table. There's just so many tiers. There's like the scions and the vassals and the pages and then there's like different terms like legendborn, shadowborn, onceborn. There's also a lot of terms that I think are in Welsh, like tied into the Arthurian lore and everything like that. And so there's like so many things getting thrown around. The world building is a lot. But I've heard that the second part of the book gets a lot more intense and more like action packed. And then the second book is much more fast paced because the world building is already delivered and the lore has been delivered at that point. I think I just need to get through the middle and then things will get really good at the end. So far, I think that the story is definitely grabbing me more now after the 50% mark. I'm hoping that maybe next time Katie does like reading sprints for the Readathon, I can try to finish the book or at least make like another serious dent in it. I'm definitely enjoying it more than I was at like the 30% mark. I think the beginning was just a little rough. And I finished Don't Let the Forest In a few days ago. I fucking loved that book. I devoured it. I'll show you in the reading wrap up for June just how many annotations I did, but oh my god, I was annotating so many things because the writing, there's just this like heavy atmosphere the whole time, this kind of ominous foreboding and this atmosphere of autumn. It is such an autumn read, and I think that reading it for like summer-ween right now was a good idea, but this would be so perfect to read in the autumn if you haven't read it. The best way I can describe it is that it just feels like you are fully steeped in this gothic, creepy, like boarding school situation with this dark, ominous forest nearby. And there's this sense of decay and rot, a creeping sense of dread the whole time as well. And it just builds and builds and builds throughout the book. If I had to sum this book up in a few words, I would just have to say autumn rot and an all-consuming, obsessive, queer love, I think is the best way I can describe it. And by the way, if you want to read it and you're thinking about which format you want to read it, I highly recommend getting a physical copy or reading it as an ebook, just because the illustrations in it are gorgeous. And then another good thing that I read this month was One Last Stop. That was by Casey McQuiston, and I listened to it as an audiobook. It was a very long audiobook. I think that it was around 12 hours, which isn't that long compared to like something like Game of Thrones or whatever. But I think that for me, my sweet spot when it comes to audiobooks is like under 10 hours. I think like a 6 to 8 hour audiobook is perfect for me. That kind of fits in with like a novella or a shorter book on like the 250 to 300 page side of things. Even though it was meandering a little, I fucking loved One Last Stop. Oh my god. It's been like I said, it's been such a good reading month so far. So One Last Stop is just a beautiful sapphic love story about this girl who moves to NYC. She falls in love with a girl on the train, and it's such a lovely story, not just with the sapphic romance and like the budding dynamic between the two of them, but also a lot of the secondary characters are really, really great. Some of them border a little on like too quirky, like their sense of humor feels like you're in a book. It doesn't feel like people would say this kind of stuff in real life. As someone with a lot of queer and neurodivergent friends and who is queer and neurodivergent myself, I feel like it feels really realistic to me. Like I can imagine these conversations happening with my own friends. So it didn't feel too out of place for me. I really loved these secondary characters. August moves in with a couple roommates when she moves into the city, and August also starts working at a diner, and the diner family there was also really cute. I think that these little found families that she builds between like her roommates and the diner family and then like the queer community that she gets to meet throughout her time in the city as well. It was just such a wonderful cast of characters and I loved all of them, to be honest. But yeah, between One Last Stop and Don't Let the Forest In, it's been a really good reading month and I'm getting through Legendborn. I think that I need to just see how the ending goes and that'll kind of influence how I feel about it and the way that I'm going to rate it. So yeah, sorry this has been kind of a weird emotional vlog. I know not many people are going to see this anyway, but it just feels kind of cathartic to say it and speak it, you know, just to kind of talk about everything. So I'll probably check in one last time, hopefully when I finish Legendborn. If Katie does more sprints this week, which I think last week she did on Friday, so maybe she'll do it this Friday again, that'll be another book under my belt for this readathon, and I really got to start pulling my weight with the Libras, you know? Alright, so it's several days later and I just have a bunch of updates I'm gonna give you right at the end of the vlog because I need to finish this. So first update, I did finish Legendborn and unfortunately I didn't love it. I'm really bummed about this because I was expecting to love it. I've heard nothing but glowing things about it and everyone that I follow has loved it, and I'm really sad that I didn't love it. I think part of it is that I just had a really hard time getting into this one. The first half of the book was so dense with the world building and explaining the magic system and the Order of the Round Table and all of the different ranks in it. And so for the first half I was just like struggling to get into it. I just like couldn't get immersed in it and it felt like an active slog, you know? The second half definitely picked up more, but it still just didn't really get me. And then the ending, you know, I'm not going to spoil anything, this is going to be spoiler free, but the end was really predictable for me. There was a couple things that I didn't really predict or didn't see coming. One of the major twists, I kind of saw it coming from a mile away, and so it just left me feeling a little underwhelmed, I guess. I'm really sad I didn't love this because I really wanted to love this. I'm going to talk about it more in depth in my July reading wrap up, but yeah, I'm bummed I didn't love this. Unfortunately, I'm not going to continue in the series because I just don't really feel like I'm immersed in any way and I don't really care to continue, so I'm really sad about this one. I'm so sorry. Please don't hate me. For this next update, I didn't plan on reading this in this vlog, but you've already seen clips of it, so you know it's in here. But I started Heartstopper Volume 4. This one is just really cute, and I've already teared up a couple times. I'm not going to say too much on the plot of it because it's the fourth one. Anyway, so I started this one. I'll finish it soon because it's a graphic novel, so. Next order of business is a little book haul. I had some Barnes & Noble gift cards, so I went yesterday and treated myself to a couple things. The first thing is this little manga volume. It is volume 1 in Skullface bookseller Honda-san, and I've never seen this before, but I just thought it was so silly looking. The art on the cover just really captured me. I thought it was very interesting art style, and some of the art and the panels in here, I just thought it looked so cool. So I was like, I'll just give it a try. And then actually the cashier at the Barnes & Noble said that they'd read this entire series as well. I think there's only 4 or 5 volumes of it. They said that it feels really relatable to them working in Barnes & Noble and how they related a lot to it. And I think anyone who works in retail can relate a lot to this. The next one I picked up is Blood on Her Tongue by Johanna Van Veen. And this one has these gorgeous bloody drip sides as well. I think it was just so interesting. I've also read My Darling Dreadful Thing by this author, and I only gave it a 3.5 stars at the time, but I really loved the writing style and the way that she captures this really unsettling, spooky atmosphere, so I'm really looking forward to this horror novel from her. And lastly, I picked up When the Tides Held the Moon by Vanessa Vida Kelly, and all I know about this one is that it's a romance between a human and a merman, and I think it's set in the 1910s at New York City's Coney Island, so that sounds really cool too. It's got this really beautiful end paper illustration, and this is the back end paper, which I think is really, really gorgeous. I love that it goes from, you know, sepia tone to color. And actually another thing that I really loved about this one when I was looking at it in the store is that it's got all these illustrations inside as well. There's these partial color illustrations, but also the title of the book is in blue. The chapter headings and the first page of each chapter also has a really beautiful blue detail on it. So I thought that was really a lovely detail, and here's another one of those illustrations as well. So some of them are more like full page scenes and some of them are just little sketches. Oh, hi Matcha. Before we wrap this up, I also have one more thing to show you, and that is this box set of the Hunger Games hardcovers. Don't mind her, she's just gonna hang out with us, but I got these on Pango because I had been looking in the thrift stores and I just could not find some editions that were in good condition or that weren't in large print. So I ended up picking up this box set of the hardcovers on Pango, and they're in really good condition until I fucked up and took one of them out of the box and bent the pages, but you know, that's my fault. I really want to start this series this month, at least the first one, because Katie Coulson is doing her Sunrise on the Readathon. So I really want to read at least one of the Hunger Games books because that's the whole theme of the Readathon. So anyway, so that's all the updates I've got for you for this vlog. Thank you for watching and hanging out with me. And if you enjoyed this, please like, comment, and subscribe. I would love to hear what you've been up to. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.